Hey guys, welcome to another New World video. So guys, with Brimstone Sands being released on October 18th, I thought I should make this video now so people would have a chance to do a little prep beforehand and maybe prevent them from losing some coin in the process. Normally before a big update, I try to have a look at the PTR and figure out which things I think will see an increase in demand, and then plan ahead and share this information so that people can make a little coin. But this time I noticed something a little different. With some of the new recipes, the changes to the spawns, and stuff like that, I think some of the things we're used to seeing at very high value are about to crash in a big way. So let's have a look at them, why I think they're going to plummet in value, and hopefully you can unload them before the launch. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is metals. With the changes in this update, and in this instance, the new zone, I think we're going to see a major shift in smelting, what materials people use more often, and it's going to have a massive impact on the economy. Originally in New World, platinum had very little use. It was too rare and too expensive to smelt to really be used in jewel crafting training. It wasn't used in any smelting for standard metals, so overall it was useless, which is why I think they gave it so few spawns. Then of course, when our markets were flooded with hundreds of thousands of it going unused, they changed the orichalcum bar recipe and added it as an option to use platinum in place of star metal. This was a great change of course, for a little while. But again, with very limited spawns, quickly the overstock was eaten up, and once again people just started using star metal, as per usual. And star metal is pretty limited itself, so prices are crazy on that as well. Well, if you look at this map here, you will see that they have went crazy with the new platinum veins in the Brimstone Sands. I think you will once again see the market flooded with cheap, abundant platinum. This will have a far-reaching impact on prices. One thing you're going to see very quickly is a sharp reduction on value of platinum ore, because there's just going to be so much of it. So if you have any platinum ore you've been farming and holding on to, I would 100% sell that now. But I also think it's going to have some other potential side effects. Firstly, it will decrease the value of star metal, not by much, as star metal is of course needed for weaponsmith leveling, but it will be far less used for pure smelting than platinum will be moving forward. This will also create a resurgence we saw months ago in the production of aptitude crates for smelting, which will over time reduce the value of the rare metals like cinnabar and tolvium. As with people smelting orichalcum easier, more crates will be being produced. This of course won't happen overnight, but it will happen. So if you're sitting on a massive stockpile of tolvium and cinnabar, keep this in mind, although do not unload those rare metals unless the prices are high, because they of course also can be used in weaponsmith training. Another big impact this will have will be on the availability of gems. We will see a huge spike in gems being produced, but this will have two factors as to why. The first, it will be because of the huge amount of platinum veins we will now have being mined, and of course people getting the raw gems from mining them. Which now brings us to the next big change that will have a massive impact on the economy, and that's the new legendary tools. And again, the new zone. As I am sure you know, in this update we will be able to make new legendary tools, and the final perk on these tools is not random like with other stuff. It is a perk that will allow for mote collection from any node, depending on the mote that the tool is aligned to collect. So motes will become trivial in value very quickly. This will allow for cutting gems at a much lower cost. This is because, as I said, motes will lose value, and I believe they are set to lose value at an incredible rate. Getting motes from every gather activity we do, not to mention the fact that they have added an assload of elemental creature spawns, like the moths and the fire snails, as well as a ton of mote node spawns all over Brimstone. It certainly doesn't take an inventor of a penis rocket to deduce these are going to absolutely tank in price. Now I know, some creators have said that people won't have these tools overnight, and this may be true, and yes, you only get 1 to 5 per depending on the tier of the node. But let's for 1 second look at the reality of the game. We have armies of bots gathering greenwood, stone. You honestly think the bots won't be all equipped with these tools, doubling their coin produced. So it is a safe bet to unload motes now before they are worth like 0.02 on the market. The mote change is of course over time going to impact many things. The prices of yield potions, everything primarily made from motes is greatly going to drop in value very quickly. Now let's talk about food, because here's where I think we're going to see the fastest shifts in prices, and these will happen very quickly. Right now, if you check your markets, you're going to see that the plus 40 attribute foods are crazy expensive, other than Constitution food, of course, due to the exploit a while back. The sumptuous rabbit was crazy exploited in those days, but it's slowly crawling back up. Anyway, these other foods like dex, focus, intellect, and especially strength are crazy expensive. This is due to them needing legendary fish as their primary ingredient. These fish seen on screen, yeah, I'm not even going to try saying their names, or else I will of course be flooded with the "it's pronounced like this" comments. These fish are rare and at the moment a great farm for those of us who enjoy fishing, because they can run anywhere from 500 to 1000 coin per fish, because of course cooks can then produce 2 to 3 food per fish with the right gear. so it has for a long while been a very competitive but profitable farm. This is of course about to end, and end very quickly. No one is going to be making these foods after Brimstone Sands. In Brimstone, they have added a completely new set of plus 40 attribute food recipes, and these ones take ingredients that will be in abundance and easily farmed. So although, with these new recipes, we will see a big increase in value on stuff like fish roe and delicate fillets, we will see a dramatic decrease in the value of the old legendary fish, simply because why would anyone buy them if they can produce these same foods at a fraction of the cost? Not to mention the new legendary bag bonus, which will make foods last almost twice as long as they do now. Which doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. People will be consuming half as many food type consumables, so therefore only buying them or making them half as much. It is these little changes that we tend to overlook that have the biggest impact on the economy long term. So yeah, if you had any of the old attribute food stockpiled, or primary valuable ingredients to make it, sell these now, or see your investment dissolve. And the final big change I wanted to talk about was to garlic and tarragon. These herbs have always been very expensive, especially tarragon. Tarragon has been crazy priced simply because the demand greatly outweighs the supply. This herb only comes from reek water currently, and there's virtually no hyssop spawns in this zone. They are so heavily contested it's ridiculous some days. Well, this also is about to change. As you can see by this map, they have added a ton of hyssop nodes all over Brimstone, and you guessed it, they give garlic and tarragon. So it will be no surprise to see tarragon prices plummet post-patch, and this will happen very quickly. I don't think this will impact hyssop prices much because it's consumed in a massive amount by people pushing territory standing and leveling arcana. But tarragon and garlic, those should be sold right away if you have a bunch. Another thing that I want to mention is that they have made some big changes to the golden scarabs on the PTR that will have a big effect on how valuable they will be when this patch hits live. First, let's have a look at the sulfur chests, the ones located in any of the acid pools around Brimstone. These chests were on a 1-hour cooldown when I first made my Scarab video. Now though, these chests have been changed to a 24-hour cooldown, and now you will have an internal cooldown when you loot a golden scarab, much like the topaz gypsum. You can only loot 10 scarabs per day. However, I doubt this will be much of a concern, because they have also nerfed the drop rates, so I doubt you'll be hitting 10 per day anyway. From the 18 sulfur chests that I just mentioned, you used to have a 10% chance to receive a golden scarab. That is now 7%. From the 10 elite points of interest chests, you used to have a 5% chance to receive a golden scarab. That is now 4%. And finally, the 50 glyph chests. From these, you used to have a 5% chance to receive a golden scarab, but now only a 2% chance. So it would seem that they have listened to the community, and these will be significantly rarer than it first appeared when they were added to the PTR. So the reason that I wanted to bring this up was, although the stuff like the timeless shards and the perk items may see an increase in value when this goes live, it would appear now that it won't be as big of an impact as was first assumed, because there simply won't be as many of them being used as it first appeared. So yes, still hold on to these items like timeless shards, stat perk items, stuff like that. But I don't believe there will be as huge of a demand as I once did. So don't hold on to too many, unless it's for personal use. There are of course a few other things I think will be affected in this update, and I will make another video covering them. I wanted to focus on the main ones in this video that I personally will be affected by due to my farming habits. If you guys know something else you think will be drastically reduced in value by this update, feel free to share it with the community in the comments. And as always guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.